gentlemen, welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution!
Welcome to another exciting, I would say riveting, if you will, episode of the Ross Patterson Revolution. We got a really, really special guest here. Hannah Lux Davis. I would say, I said earlier to the producer, the famous producer, Brandon Bonfiglio, you were arguably the biggest female director in music videos today.
That's a lie, but thank you.
Who's above you? Who's above you?
The weird thing is I actually have a list on my phone.
Do you really?
Of female directors that I'm like, what are they up to? I probably shouldn't. It's like
gangster. No.
I know.
That's like some old school Jordan shit where you're checking the box scores to see what Bird and Magic are doing and be like, all right, fuck them.
I gotta keep tabs on them. I mean,
that's
sort
great,
of,
actually.
but I mean, not really. I don't really have to, but it's nice to kind of see what they're up to because there's some that I really admire and look up to. So I kind of want to see the trajectory of where they're going.
That's a gangster mentality. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I used to do the same. Like when I write scripts and all that stuff, I used to put I called it a death board. You know, everybody else has like a vision board.
Yeah.
I wanted these people dead, and it was like Judd Apatow, other people above. And whatever their next projects were, I would keep that above my computer when I wrote, and I was like, all right, I'm going to be funnier than you today.
Yeah.
It's the same way. I think anybody who wants to get ahead or succeed or be the best at something should keep tabs on everybody else. That's a nice thing to hear.
Yeah, I mean, it pushes me. It makes me like, yo, they are working really hard right now. Or like, oh, I love what they just put out. Okay, I have to be better at this.
You got to be better.
Yeah.
You got to be better.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fun one, kids. Hannah, we have some sponsors, ironically, who pay for this whole shit show to be on there. I'm surprised every single time we do it. But, you know, Brandon was talking about Kirkland. He was a big Kirkland guy. And I'm drinking his sponsor right now. You've got the LaCroix going on.
all the way.
And with that, I would say throw a little Strike Force energy into the LaCroix, because that's my jam, by the way. Or into the water. It's an energy drink company. They have the tastiest, tiniest little tin pouch of energy in a silver packet. Kick the can. You don't need the can anymore. Boom. You throw that in your drinks. You're good to go. They have a subscription of the month club. It goes in every single liquid available. And they ship everywhere in the entire world. So if you're in what's the weirdest country you can think of? Tunisia?
Sure.
Is that still a country?
Maybe like Togo.
Togo.
That's in Africa.
Togo. Maybe Togo. Yeah. They ship to Togo. No lie. They will find a way to ship to Togo. Go to strikeforceenergy.com. Type in the promo code REVOLUTION. You get 20% off of all your energy drink needs. Next up, we got carnivoreclub.co. That's a .co. You don't see those too often. When you do, you know they're important. It's a meat of the month club is what it is. Yeah.
I'm the meat queen.
Are you really?
I fucking love meat.
What's your favorite meat?
I mean, I just love skirt steak.
Skirt steak, flank steak.
Skirt steak.
I get down on skirt steak, flank steaks. That's kind of amazing.
That's my jam right now.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Type in the promo code REVOLUTION and get 20% off. Last but not least, we've got straightrazors.com. This, kids, is how I get that's Babyface. Babyface.
Looks smooth.
I know. It's a little warm in here. I look like I've been swimming today. But it's that keeps the baby face in me. Keeps the baby face going in me.
Hydrated.
Is what it does. Hydrated. Mm-hmm. Hydrated is what it is. So go to straightrazors.com for all your shaving needs. They've got the top aftershave, the top cologne. In the business, type in the promo code REVOLUTION. You get 20% off. And then last but not least, At Night She Cries While He Rides. See, that's my book. Greatest author of all time. I'm sure you've got 10 copies at your house.
I do, actually.
Everybody does.
Yeah, I actually give them out as gifts.
Yeah.
And then I write little notes and send a picture.
Little notes to people?
Yeah, I just put it in there.
Boom, boom. That's what it is. That's what it is. Welcome to the show, Hannah Lux Davis.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's an honor to have you.
This is exciting.
I feel like besides Jables, females in the biz is tough. It's tough these days. You don't rarely meet a female director, one, let alone music videos. I don't know why. What do you think? What do you think the answer is?
I mean, it's a tough job. Whenever I get asked, like, oh, female directing, is it, what's it like being a female director? I mean, the job itself is hard. And I feel like maybe just females aren't that interested in it because maybe they like the styling or the makeup or the hair or the art department. And I find that it's a big responsibility and it takes a lot of leadership and a lot of confidence to speak to a crew and to handle tough situations that can be somewhat emotional sometimes.
Sure.
Because it is an artistic, field, and you get really passionate about creativity, and it's kind of everything you do is kind of like your baby. So women are just naturally more emotional. Like there's no other way around it.
But so in today's world, today's society, you would expect. Like the girl power, look, females are marching now. Mm-hmm. They're marching. They're doing marches. Like you would expect that there would be more women that would want to at least try it, right? Like,
you know what? There are, and I think that today's generation, like there's more access to it, like when they're younger. When in the beginning, or not beginning, but even like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, when I was like trying it out and starting it for the first time.
Right.
Like I didn't have any girlfriends that were interested in just, taking a camera and shooting. And back when I started, it was about like skate videos and making shitty things with your friends that are just like wild. And like, remember Punk, what was that show?
Punk'd.
No, yeah, not Punk'd. It was
Not
the
Punk'd.
one where they did like a whole bunch of stunts.
Jackass.
Yes. Stuff like Jackass was really big when I was first starting. So that was something that we all aimed to do. And usually that was guys that I'd be shooting. So it was just kind of like a guy crew and like of people. And I feel like now more than ever though, like it's so easy to make things. And I feel like like the next generation, there's going to be way more females into the game.
Yeah, because there's no excuse. Because anybody who says I want to be a filmmaker, how do I do that? It's like,
it's very easy to get
you
started.
have a phone, you have an iPhone, you have
phone.
cameras, you can go out and shoot and make things easier and cheaper and quicker more than ever. So it's an excuse. Like if you're not shooting, that's your own problem that you're not a filmmaker or a director.
And like YouTube, you can access so many videos and tutorials and interviews just like at your fingertips.
Yes.
And when I was starting out, it was like there wasn't even YouTube yet.
No. How old were you when you first got started?
Well, I was 18 when I first went to film. Well, when I was 17, I went to film camp, like the summer between my junior.
How was that? How nerdy was film camp?
Oh my God, it was so nerdy. I got kicked out for drinking.
Really?
Yeah.
They were like, oh, you can't drink and film.
I thought my life was over.
Let alone everyone is an alcoholic in film.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
And it was just really funny. It was a fun time, but I'm from Seattle, so I went to LA. I went to the New York Film Academy and Universal.
Which is an oxymoron, the New York Film Academy in Los Angeles, where you're like, wait a minute, why did you move to...
Everybody,
I
hate saying that because everybody's like, oh, New York. I'm like, no, LA.
No, it was in LA, but it's the New York
LA.
Film Academy.
Very
that was
confusing.
on location. They were already on location because of unions. Yeah.
So, I went there between my junior and senior year, and it was a really fun, 4-week experience. It should have been 5. And, we made films, and we, dicked around a lot. We explored the city a bit on these fun little field trip excursions.
Yeah.
And it was that trip that really was like, yes, I am moving to LA. I am doing this.
And how old were you when you moved to Los Angeles?
I was 18.
You were 18 years old?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. And your parents were cool with that?
Yeah. I was terrible in school and academics, and they were like, yes, go to film school. It wasn't like an academic like USC. It was a trade school, vocational school, and it was only a year long. So, I just did that. It was really, I knew nobody in LA, and I just moved here. And
I came out with one friend, and it's scary.
It's scary, but it was so exciting. I was just so into the idea of filmmaking in Hollywood, and it was, where I'm from, it wasn't like everybody's aspiration was not to go.
Right. And well, in Seattle,
LA.
It's like, hey, I want to drink coffee and listen to grunge, right?
Yeah, and everybody went to Wazoo.
Kind of over it. Everybody's just kind of over life, where they're just like,
I mean, who knows what they were into? I don't even remember what everybody else is sort of gearing towards in terms of their college careers. But I knew from a very young age that I was fascinated by filmmaking, not really understanding which part of it I was really into. I always used to say I was into cinematography, thinking that was just overall filmmaking.
Right.
But I knew there was a few movies that really, and where I grew up, we had like 10 movies in a rotation, and that was it. Like we didn't like see everything.
Sure.
So like there was like these 10 movies we watched, and
what was your favorite?
Romeo and Juliet, Baz Luhrmann.
Oh, the DiCaprio version.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A great movie.
Oh, so good.
Big
and
fan.
then Strictly Ballroom, which was another Baz Luhrmann movie.
Yeah. You like the grandiose? Like he's got a certain style to all of his.
Totally.
Because even The Great Gatsby was like, I was like, all right, how are you gonna make The Great Gatsby cool? And I dug The Great Gatsby. I was like, shit.
It was
but that's
really
Baz.
cool. Yeah.
That's Baz for you.
He's so detailed and just like he's very into color palette and just really getting into the theme visually of a movie. And,
right.
And that is what I absolutely love. And I think as soon as and also I'm really big on the music in a movie and how that impacts like the emotion and the story.
And also impacts the editing too.
Oh, completely.
A lot of people don't know that, where it's a lot of editors love to cut to music, and especially great music, it's even better.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that was also, I mean, that soundtrack for Romeo and Juliet was just so eclectic and just so different than like anything I really heard.
Yeah.
Like there was a song on there by this band called Butthole Surfers? Is that what they were called?
Yeah, Butthole Surfers,
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and then Cranberries, it was just a really cool time in music and art and filmmaking. And so I think that when that movie came out, it was a really influential time in my life, just being like a teen, you know.
And DiCaprio. Let's not forget DiCaprio.
I mean, and Titanic. Are you kidding me?
I know.
So yeah, I was just really fascinated by music and how that impacted the visual and just like how fantastical movies could be. And so when I was trying to figure out what I liked, I really, and Fifth Element, that was another one that was
Fifth Element.
Yeah. Like,
Snipes.
Yeah, those two were my favorite. Fifth Element, like the Bruce Willis and like,
yeah.
And so those two movies really, really inspired me and just were like opened my eyes to the whole visual medium of just like color and detail and just setting up a world that was just kind of a little beyond reality.
Right.
So
you're 18, you're in LA. What's your first job? How did you get in? Did you say I'm gonna intern? I'm gonna tag along?
Yeah.
How did you get in?
Well, okay, so when I went to New York Film Academy for the year-long program after I graduated, and that was not a very good experience. I was 18, like I said, and we were put with a group of 18-year-olds, but there was like 12 of us in our class, which is very difficult to be collaborative and to make films with those small amount of...
Because they were out for themselves, or they didn't want to work together?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very small group, but they were also all directors. So how do you make... It was hard to like have a crew to like shoot it or like do art or AD it or produce it.
Sure.
And it was just a bunch of directors. And back then there was no digital camera. It was still film. Like I
shot.
Oh
wow! Were you guys shooting on 16 or 35?
16.
Ugh. Boy.
Yeah, so it was not
you
like...
You had to go to PhotoCam and get that shit like processed and the whole, all of it.
I just can't believe how much money I wasted.
Oh, it's crazy, isn't it?
I know, it's insane. And I had no idea what I was doing. I would go to a telecine and then I would get the footage and I would cut it. And then I would like redo all the color. And I'm like, what a fucking waste. And it's
a waste of time.
Yeah, and I didn't know that at the time. And I didn't even know how to communicate.
Nobody did, because there's no other medium to shoot on. So you're stuck with film.
Yeah.
And what was your first piece?
Well, when I was there, I knew I wanted to make music videos. Well, how I was like, okay, filmmaking, I love it. I love the visual style. I love music. And then I just really found myself fascinated with all music videos on MTV. Like I would race home from school and go watch TRL. Like that was everything for my generation.
Live. Yes.
Yeah, it was like totally like, I was all about that. So I would watch like Britney videos and Backstreet Boys videos and Christina Aguilera. Like I was a pop kid.
Princess. You were a pop princess. You can say it. You were a pop princess. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that the music video world really, really had an impact on me. And that whole combination of the music and film, like the music and images, like...
Sure.
And I also played the drums. So I had this musical sort of like background.
But do you do anything else? No, I'm kidding. That's a lot. Jesus. Because you edit all your own videos too, right?
I edit about 90% of them, and we can get into that. But like, it just depends on time.
But you do a lot of things.
I do, yeah.
So what was your first? What was your first piece of content that you directed and put out into the world?
The first piece was a music video I did as my thesis, and I chose a music video because I was like, well, I'm not a writer. I knew that going into everything. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to find a band. And back then there was like barely MySpace. Like there was like pure volume. So I like searched for like artists in LA, and I found this one girl who it said Riverside was her location. And me living in Toluca Lake, I was like, oh, Riverside Drive.
Right down the street.
Right down the street.
Nope.
No. I got in the car. No, I think I MapQuested it, printed out the directions.
Yeah.
Got in my car and I was like, holy fuck, this is like an hour and a half away. What am I getting into?
Yeah.
And so I went down and I met her, and it was...
What was her name?
Her name was Breezy.
What, with a Z or what? I-E?
With a Z.
Okay.
Z-Y. And
what was she? Pop, rap?
Pop, but it was like that emo pop where she had like short black hair and like, you know, it was... I mean, she was really nice, and she's somebody I still kind of kept in touch with for a while afterwards. So I did this video, and I cut it together. I colored it. I had to go and get permits for it, and I'm terrible at anything outside of creative realms. And it was okay. It was terrible. Let's be honest.
Was the video terrible?
I mean, I liked it at the time, obviously, but I think
looking
it was...
back now,
yeah,
you're
looking back, I mean, I don't remember
would you be mortified if somebody showed that at your funeral and they were like, here we go, Breezy, out of all of your laundry list full of videos?
I think there's other videos I'd be more nervous about.
Really?
And recent ones, actually. But
shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Now, even today?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
why is that?
Because sometimes you just have to let the video go where somebody else wants to take it, and you have to know when to be like, all right, my hands are, I wash my hands of this project because you obviously don't care what I have to say. And there's projects where that can happen, and you just have to be, it's at the end of the day, it's not my project.
Right.
It's like the artist or the client or...
So how much control would you
paying.
say you had total? Like on a percentage basis?
On that video in particular?
On any video, really.
I mean, I would say about...
Do they give you full
75-80%
total?
Yeah.
And then the label comes in, or the artist, and says, hey, I want to do this, this, and this?
It totally depends on the artist and what the project is, like everything in this business. But I'd say I've been lucky enough to work with a lot of people who put trust in me, and they let me do my thing, which is great. But I had to earn that. It wasn't like I had that right away. I mean, there was jobs that I did, like the first job that was ever commissioned, that I won, through like a commissioner and a label, there was definitely people over my shoulder every step of the way who, were asking questions, and they may not have been questions I was able to answer. I was so like green to it all. But
who was it? Who was your first break?
Well, the very first one that I was like paid to do was a band called Twin Atlantic, and they were from Scotland.
Sure, I want one of those.
Scotland?
Yeah,
Scotland.
Scotland?
Yep, and I couldn't understand a word they said. It was fantastic, but they were really sweet guys, and it was so fun. And it happened to be 2 videos. I wrote a treatment for like the 2 videos they wanted to bundle together, so I was like so stoked that it was like a 2-in-1 situation.
So you got to direct 2 at one time.
Yeah,
look at that.
That was really great, and it was over 2 days, and it was a lot of fun. And I actually had a lot of creative freedom on that, but there was just a lot of questions going into it, and I didn't know how to handle post. I did all of post on my own, and I would color it, and I had to hit deadlines, and I'm terrible with time management. And it was kind of my first taste of pre-production, production, and then diving right into post.
Right.
And that's a very long process, and you have this group sort of effort leading you to the production, a group effort on set, and then oh my god, now it's all on me.
Now you're all alone.
Yeah.
Here, take this pile of everything and then
Yeah.
just make it awesome.
Yeah. And so it was my first taste of deadlines and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it seems like forever ago.
Who was the first big artist you did? Where it was super famous to where your friends at home were like, oh my God, you did so and so? Because let's face it, even indie movies and shit that I've done, they don't give a fuck about that. It's just, it's always like, oh, but the new guy and accepted. He was, and you're just like, all right, cool. What was the first big person that all your friends back home were like, oh my God?
Totally. It's funny because I used to think some of these smaller artists, I'm like, everybody should know them. You were saying. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know that person? They're huge on my computer.
Yeah. They're big on my iPod when I run in the park.
Yeah. And then when I run in the park.
When I run in the park in a circle, they're huge to me.
Oh, I love it. It was for Lil Wayne, Drake, and Future. in one video. Yeah, I was really fucking nervous, and it was great.
What was the name of that video?
It was called Love Me.
Love Me.
Also known as Bitches Love Me.
Yeah, my bitches love me.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about no hate as long as my bitches love me.
You're good. Yeah,
Dude, I
that's
remember
it.
that video.
Yeah.
That video was fucking dope. Wasn't there like water and all kinds of shit? Like,
Yeah, it was like a watered down like bedroom that was sort of like dilapidated.
that was a crazy video. I remember, you know what's funny? I remember seeing your name on it, and I think I called Brent and I was like, hey, that's the same girl, right? Like, holy shit. Yeah. That's unbelievable.
It was one of those experiences where I didn't have any sort of I wasn't really influenced too much by outside things at that moment.
Right.
There was a time in my career, though, shortly after that, where I felt like I had to fit into this sort of like mold of the type of videos that were happening with those types of artists.
Sure.
But that one, I kind of wrote that as like a fuck it. I'm just gonna put this together. I had all these kind of random setups that I kind of had saved, from past treatments or what have you. And I was home for some holiday break, and I was like sitting at my the kitchen table like at my parents' house in Seattle,
Right.
and I was like, I'm just gonna put this together, and hopefully they're into it. And they ended up being really into it, obviously. So it was a really cool experience to be able to book that. And
What's it like seeing yourself on MTV? Like,
I mean,
that's got to be pretty unbelievable.
It doesn't happen that often. I don't know. I don't watch, unfortunately, don't watch MTV.
A lot of people don't. Everybody's going to YouTube for videos now, and that's where everything pops now.
Yeah.
I've got a 3-year-old, and all he does is watch music videos on YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
It dances to
Good
it.
for you.
Loves it.
Lucky
Loves it. But I
you.
see the billions of views they
Yeah.
have, and I think to myself, well, if YouTube didn't exist and this was still on MTV, could you get that many eyeballs on something? And I don't think it's possible.
Not at all, especially with what they're doing with their programming. It doesn't lead anybody there. It's just it's almost like it's train wreck TV.
I have a prediction for you. I don't think MTV will be a network in 5 years. Viacom owns them, Comedy Central, all these other guys, because just not enough people are watching. Their programming sucks. And I think it'll be combined into one and become one channel called Viacom. Well, they'll mix all that shit in together. That's just a guess.
Yeah, I mean, I just did a huge job with Viacom, and it had all their brands in it, including
Did
MTV.
it really? Nickelodeon and
yeah, Nickelodeon and BET.
There's a lot.
And
People don't
Logo,
realize. Yeah.
And Comedy
VH1.
Central. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
CMT.
that's my prediction. I think Viacom's going to be the channel, and they'll mix all of it into one, and all those reality programs and all that shit and comedy will be on the same channel, and that will be that. Interesting. Weird, right?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
So all your friends called you. They see the Lil Wayne video, and I'm sure they say, I want to meet him. Can I come on? Can I meet your friends?
Yeah, no, it was interesting because like a lot of people came out of the woodwork for that one, and we're just like, whoa, like what? And
that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh wait, I've been doing shit for a while, but you're gonna call me now? Like now you're gonna call me?
That was pretty early on in my career, which was pretty exciting. But
how old were you when that video came out?
When did that come out? Like I was probably 26.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's a young age to get a video that big. And especially as a woman, like I don't know many female music video directors at all. Especially at 26 doing a Lil Wayne. I mean, that's a massive job. Were you like, holy shit, I can't believe that like this happened?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It was definitely a holy shit moment. And meeting the guys on set, I was so nervous to like meet Drake.
I'd be nervous to meet Lil Wayne these days. Yeah.
And there was a lot of like pressure and like build up leading up to meeting them that I think made me even more nervous. But they ended up being pretty cool, and I know Drake was definitely very surprised to see that it was like a female director. And Lil Wayne obviously knew who I was because we had talked on the phone.
Sure.
I was so nervous for that.
Were
phone
you taller
call.
than him?
Oh, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I know you were. He's a small man.
Yeah, he's very small. He's so sweet though. He calls me Miss Hannah.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah, which is kind of.
Oh, hey, Miss Hannah.
Hey, Miss Hannah.
Hey, Miss Hannah.
Okay, Miss Hannah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after the Lil Wayne video comes out, does your career explode after that, and you get a bunch of offers from like huge artists?
It didn't explode, but people definitely, put me on the map. Like they knew who I was from that video.
Well, I remember seeing a Miley Cyrus video you did, where I remember your name was on the mirror in lipstick, and I was like, oh shit.
I fought to get that in there. I was like,
Did you? Because I remember seeing it. I was like, God damn, she made it. And not only that, but she's stamping it.
I know.
Because it was
I was so happy that made the cut. You have no idea. Because sometimes, like, artists won't, like, like, you don't need to put your name on it because I want
Which
my
is
name on
bullshit,
it.
by the way.
I mean, I get it. I think there's a time and place for credits and videos, and I think some people do it
But if you do it in a cool, creative way, like yours is written on lipstick on a mirror, I believe.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that video in a while, but
Yeah.
I remember seeing it. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hannah done made it.
Yeah, no.
Hannah done made it.
It was
She
a
got
cool
her stamp in
moment.
the video.
I was
Yeah.
like, I was kind of nervous to have her do it. And then I was like, okay, now you're going to write my name in lipstick. She's like, I don't know how to spell it. I'm like, you are Hannah Montana. You know how to spell Hannah.
Miley, you don't know how to spell fucking Hannah. Come on, Miley.
No. I have only nice things to say about that girl. She was so professional and so much fun to
That's
work
what I
with.
heard. Everybody says she's like the nicest person in the
I
world.
was kind of blown away how just like down to earth and professional she was.
Well, I guess if you grow up in it
Yeah.
with your entire family, like, you know the gig, you would hope at that point, and you're not spoiled, and you're like, all right, this is a job, and everybody else is depending on on me.
And it was a really good time in her career. It was right after she made her look change into the We Can't Stop look. It was like the next thing she did. So that was like a really big moment in her career that definitely set her up as like a different type of artist, less bubblegum.
And how did you get into? Because you do all of Nicki Minaj's videos and Ariana Grande. I see your name on all of those. How did those come about?
Well, it started out. So the Lil Wayne one led to Birdman, and he. Yep, that's the one. That's the one. And he enjoyed working with me on. What was the first one with him? I think it might have been Tap Out, which was like a conglomerate of artists called Rich Gang.
Did your mom? Yeah. Is your mom watch the Tap Out video?
Probably.
Did she have a lot of questions after that of like what these lyrics are?
She has no idea. She's like, zero idea.
Because that's graphic.
She's like, oh,
My
that's
Bitches
nice.
Love Me and Tap Out
Yeah.
are two super graphic
Yeah.
songs where it's like, oh, they're just talking about vaginas for 4 minutes.
Bitches Love Me is almost too graphic for me because it's definitely gotten in the way of me booking other jobs.
Has it really?
Yeah, like any sort of like kids commercials or toy, like Mattel. Like,
they'll look back and be like, hey,
Yeah.
remember that video you shot? You're talking about pussies for 4 minutes?
Yeah.
You can't do Mattel.
I know. And even Tap Out, there was like another line that Nicki had that kind of got in the way of some stuff. So, I mean, it was a really fun experience. I learned so much on that whole era. And that was also an era where I felt like I kind of tried to fall into the mold of other things that were happening around the time, which I really regret because I look back on those videos and I'm like, oh, I could have done this like my way. Like it didn't have I think I was still finding my voice though.
Right.
But yeah, so those videos led, Nicki was a featured artist on Tap Out, and that was my first time working with her. And then from there, she liked the way we vibed. I think it went to, Sierra. Okay, and I on Lil Wayne, she was with Future. Sierra was with Future at the time. And
they were
Sierra,
married, had a kid, right?
Yeah, I don't think they were married, but they definitely were like dating.
They
were a thing.
Yeah.
And,
when you have a kid, you might as well be married.
They weren't
at that
married.
Point.
They didn't have a kid yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This is like pre all that.
That's pre. All right.
She came to set and she met me and she was really sweet. And then she came on Tap Out, which Future was also in. And she gave me a big hug. And I was like, oh my gosh, she remembers me. I was so excited. I'm like, I know Sierra. She's one of those artists that her and Lil Wayne, mainly just Sierra, that the first artist I had worked with who I was kind of a fan of before working with them. Because other people that now in this industry have come up or become something while I was in the industry.
Right.
And there's only a few that I've worked with that have already been, very well established, even as a teen. So Sierra was one that I was just really excited to work with, and she's just so talented. So Sierra loved what I did with the Future videos, and she had me do her single, I'm Out, which was a really big single off that album, that whatever that one was. And Nicki was featured on it. And she also loved that I had previously worked with Nicki. And
one job led to another.
Yeah. And so then Nicki liked me on that one. And then I think that one led to Bang Bang.
Oh yeah. You were nominated for that, right?
Oh, I missed a lot. What did I miss?
We got a producer off camera saying Hannah missed a lot.
No, but
Hannah
what did
missed
I
a
miss?
big gap of her career.
14 to 15.
But what did I miss with Nicki? That's what we're talking about. I don't even remember.
You got no help.
I worked with Nicki 7 times.
Here's what I love. You're this successful that you've forgotten just a whole stretch of famous shit you've done,
I mean,
which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. That's what I love about music videos. It's like you can do so much. Like you can do like a few projects a month, and it's really fun just to like have a project and really work hard on it and like dive in and get creative, and all these little parts like fit together for this one little thing, and then like cut it together and like on to the next. It's like
it goes out to the world, and then you're on to the next. How many videos you shoot a year?
I think I'm averaging around 14
videos a year.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Last year it was less, but they were all bigger projects than the years prior. So
gotcha. Budget wise?
Yeah, budget wise, and just like the reach of, you know, who the artists are and all that. Because as you get further in your career, there's less of those big budgets that are just sort of out there.
Right.
But there was a pocket of like a certain budget range where there was just a lot of those. So I was able to book, you know, a lot of those. And when there's really good momentum, you know, if you're working a lot, the momentum's going, it's much easier to stay creative and keep the juices flowing. And
than
book
to
other
take
things.
time off. How many
completely.
MTV Music Awards have you been nominated for?
I was going to say, how many have I won? None.
I know you've won none. I know you've won none. But you were nominated
bad.
how many times?
Well, Ariana was nominated the last year's VMAs. Into You was nominated for cinematography, editing, which I did.
Yeah.
Female and pop.
Yeah.
And to win a pop music like video award, I would be.
That's your end all be all, right?
Yeah, that and female, because that is what got me into the game, is like doing like Britney Spears or like, you know, those types of artists. So to be doing like this generation's crop of like pop stars is kind of like a dream, which is insane.
Yeah. Because I remember watching though when you were, cause I think you guys were nominated. I think you were nominated maybe 3 times or 3 different categories for that video.
Yeah, there was 4 categories for that one.
And I remember watching. I was like, dude, because we all wanted you to win, and it was like we were waiting, and we were just waiting. I was like, Lemonade's not gonna win every fucking one.
Oh,
is it?
but it did.
But it did. It's just over and over. Beyonce.
Yeah.
Beyonce. It's like at the end of it, you're like, dude. Let's just change the name of the network to Beyonce and give her everything. I did like the video.
Yeah.
The video was rad.
No, and she works so hard, and she's somebody who really puts music videos in a good place, and she helps make them extremely relevant, which I think is important. And it's, you know, some artists or some labels don't give as much attention to videos, and they don't put as much money into them or an effort. And I think that what she's doing for, you know, the whole medium is important for a video.
Yeah. No, I mean, what she's doing is incredible, and it's always top secret. Like, I feel like I'm on Twitter at like 2 a.m, and it's like a Beyonce video just shows up, and you're like, where the fuck? Where was she doing this?
Yeah, and like while she's pregnant,
yeah,
and like it's insane.
It was like, was she really pregnant? Did somebody else have that baby? Because you just shot 90 videos that got released in an hour.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Her work ethic is insane.
It is. I wish I could see it or be a part of it.
Well, maybe you can be inside the womb for the next. I mean, she's got twins now. Yeah,
I know. So insane.
Who's somebody you want to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Avril Lavigne, Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez, Rihanna.
Wow, that's a huge list. So I was expecting one. You gave me 90.
I mean, I make lists.
But if you had to choose one, just choose one. Gun to your head, choose one right now.
Probably Rihanna.
I like Rihanna.
She's just so cool. Like,
that's my black girl pass, by the way.
Much
Rihanna's
swag.
my black girl pass. I love Rihanna.
It's insane.
I'm a married man, but that's, you know, yeah. She's rad, and her videos are rad.
Yeah.
That Calvin Harris one where she's in the box, even though she's just looking in the camera like this, like, what, did they steal that concept?
No. It was a great video.
Huh?
It was a great video.
It was okay. It was okay.
No. It was. She looks really cool. Like the outfit was really cool. It made the whole abstract.
It did. Yeah.
The whole situation.
But you could have done better.
Nicely.
Were you watching that? No.
Like, I don't like.
Do you ever do that?
I mean, it's so
hard. I do
hard
that when I watch movies. I'm like, oh fuck, I could have been funnier than that guy.
Yeah, I think there's like I think I could have had like a cooler vibe to it, like a cooler like look. Like sometimes you never really know what happens in the video, like if the artist chose that, or whether they or the director did, or or the label or some other variable. There's so many things that go into what happens, and you know, whether like they had a crazy time crunch. Like I just did a video where the artists had to, like, we were given these small windows of time with the artists.
Right.
And it wasn't just like these small windows. They would rush us and rush us and rush us to get them out of there. And then all of a sudden they would stay like an extra 2 hours. And it's like at that point we'd already rushed the shit out of everything.
Yeah.
And we've already done the job of, feeling stressed and like not
hurry
really,
up and wait. And then
just not really getting the best stuff we could get. And then so you never really know like what the circumstances are. So it's now that I'm like in the business more and I understand that, I've experienced that firsthand, I definitely am a little more forgiving in terms of if I am too judgy. But I'm very judgy.
Well, all right, let me ask you this.
Life.
What about one dead artist? If you could go back and do
Michael Jackson.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
That's
Scream.
your jam. You're pop through and through.
Oh my God, Scream is just so amazing. He's just so insanely talented.
Yeah, we actually had a music producer on last night who did some of Michael Jackson's albums, and
Wow.
he had some crazy stories about. And he just said he was a genius.
Yeah.
He was a flat out genius. Like, forget all the weird shit. He was just a flat out like a genius.
And like it's mind blowing. And then he's like the one artist, and maybe it's just a generational thing, that like after they passed, I cried. Like I don't even know.
Mine was Prince.
Oh, I had no real like.
Love Prince.
But
Love Prince.
I get it. Like
Yeah.
I totally get it, because I felt it when Michael Jackson died. I remember like I watched like a whole bunch of music videos that night. They probably had something playing like on every station.
Yeah, tribute. Yeah.
And I definitely remember where I was sitting watching the videos, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I'm crying. And
Yeah. No, Prince has shed a tear.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it was when the doves cried, but it was when Ross cried. It was when Ross cried last. I love Prince. Big fan of Prince. And Bowie too. I like Bowie a lot as well. But Prince was that one got me. I was like, oh man, damn. How are we gonna let the elevator take us down? And he died in one. And I was just like, motherfucker, not Prince. Don't go out like that.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do for the future? You want to do movies? Are you going to make
Nice
the jump
segue.
to movies?
I think I definitely want to do that down the line. It's so hard to find your first project, and
Are you reading scripts actively right now?
I'm reading scripts, but to be honest, it's really hard to give time to that when you are like working back to back.
Yeah.
And which is great. I'm really grateful for the work, and it's been, like I said, the momentum has to be there. But it does take a lot of time to read the script and like see if you like it, and then figure out the next move. And it's such a slow moving part of the industry.
Movies are super slow.
Yeah, and I'm
super slow.
And it's hard when you're coming from music videos and commercials, so because it's so fast paced. Like you book
Yeah.
a job like the month before, and
Yeah.
like and
Well,
you're
look, I
shooting.
will say this: when you do get financing for a movie, then it goes pretty quickly. Where it's like, okay, the train's moving, we're leaving, we're all getting on it.
Yeah.
But I want to see you do something cool. If you do like whatever it is, it's got to be something cool. Do you want to do
Yeah.
comedy or drama?
Well, okay, it's funny because I was definitely into comedy about a year ago. I was like, what movies do I absolutely love and just can watch over and over and over? Obviously, I like those artsy movies. Like, who doesn't, like those?
Sure.
Yeah, like I was saying, but it's
But those I feel you watch once and you're like, oh man, that was really cool. But you don't watch that again with your buddies. Like comedies, you watch over and over again.
You need a break, and you definitely have to space it out.
Like Moonlight. You're not going home with your buddies and like, oh man, let's throw on Moonlight again and just chill. Just Moonlight and chill for a little bit.
It's not that light. You need some,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I was like, what do I like? And I'm like, okay, Clueless. Like that's
Sure.
like Clueless.
Again, super poppy. Like
Yeah. Like that was definitely one of the ones that influenced me as a kid. And Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids is a great one.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah. And The Other Woman. Like those are ones that really make me feel good, and they're fun to just watch. And it's funny, I actually have been watching movies without sound lately.
On purpose?
Yeah. Just to sort of see what they're doing with composition and color. And
That's cool.
I know, it's really fun. It all started because I would go to Dry Bar and they would play movies on the TV.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, and it would just be subtitles. And I was like, I just found myself noticing different things in the movies, and I was just super fascinated about, all that good stuff. But yeah, comedy was something I was really into. And then I got a little taste of it on a commercial I did. And it might have just been the circumstances of just like all the different things happening. But I was like, yep, this is not going to be the easiest thing. Like you can't fake comedy. You can definitely fake like some sort of mood, and you can not really fake it, but like you can definitely cheat that whole,
Yeah, but funny is funny. If it's not funny, you know, and everybody else knows, and it's deflating.
Yeah.
When it's not funny, you're just like,
completely.
God damn it.
Yeah, but I love the idea of like female comedy and like a cast, like a full.
Well, that's where all the comedies being made right now are all female. So if that's your jam, that's probably your best shots moving forward. So at least it's good that it's realistic.
Yeah, definitely. And I have a friend of mine who is somebody I love to collaborate with. We used to be roommates, and she's an amazing writer and moved to Denver.
Why did she move to Denver?
To teach spin.
What? I'm sorry? Could you repeat that? Because I think there was something wrong with the headset. She moved to Denver to teach spin.
Spin class.
Because there's a huge spin world in Denver these days.
Oh, there actually is. It's insane. She's like a celebrity there. And her husband, like she got married and her husband's from there and they have like a happy life and she's able to write and kind of like you.
Yeah.
You move somewhere else and you can focus on all these different things.
It's nice. Yeah. It is nice. Because it's once you have a family, it's hard in Los Angeles.
Priorities.
Boy, I sat 90 hours worth of traffic the last 3 or 4 days here, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I told Brandon earlier, I was like, man, at some point I was like, I'm just gonna hang myself on Facebook Live in my car and just say, hey guys, it's LA traffic. You get it. Don't think that I had a drug problem or anything else going on with me. I just couldn't sit in traffic anymore.
You just need some car snacks and a good podcast.
That's it. I find you can gun through everything. I think that's why Joe Rogan makes so many goddamn shows. Like, because we do a lot. We do 2 a week on each show, which I think is a lot. Rogan's going every day and like for 3 hours, and he's smoking. Have you seen? Because there's only a few of us who do live videos. It's relatively newish, I'd say. And he's smoking weed on his.
Wow.
And he gets the guests to smoke weed.
Cool.
So, I don't know. Would you smoke weed? If you went on Rogan, would you smoke weed with Rogan?
I mean, if I was with you, I would do it. Like, if you were like, hey, this is how it's going to go down, I'd be like, whatever you say, Ross.
Yeah. Let's smoke some weed. We had a challenge because we have a P.O. box. And so we had a challenge. Somebody to send in syrup to the show, and we'll do a whole show on syrup. So we'll see if that happens.
Oh my God, I have a funny story about that.
You do?
Yeah.
Did you take it?
No, but I had a meeting with all those guys.
Which guys? Lil Wayne, Dreezy, the City of the Purple Sprite,
and all their friends. And we had a meeting at the Peninsula Hotel in Beverly Hills, and I show up probably in some really lame outfit. And
you're always super stylish. I follow your Instagram. You've always got cool shit. You always look cool.
Maybe now it's cooler, but back then I think I was not. I couldn't find my voice in many things. But so I sat down and I was waiting for them in like this gold room, and all of a sudden all these people walk out, and I'm like, okay, cool. And one guy had like this bedazzled styrofoam like chassil.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, I love your cup, and just completely oblivious to the whole
no way
what was inside action.
And he didn't say anything?
I don't remember. He might have like laughed, and he could have been out of it and be like, oh, thanks.
That's my syrup cup.
Looking back, I'm like, whoa, I was an idiot. And that's a really funny
when
moment.
you know you've made it when you have a syrup chalice. That's when I think, because I don't think that I've made it yet.
I mean, it was
I don't have a syrup chalice in my
but it was styrofoam, and it had like all these metal sort of like
so it was still styrofoam
on it.
And they put diamonds on styrofoam.
It wasn't diamonds. It was like metal sort of studs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like George Michael, late 80s, you know?
All these references,
like a George Michael jacket.
Are just like over my head.
Well, Hannah, I appreciate good pop, all right? R.I.P. George Michael.
Yeah.
This was fun. Shit, this flew by. This is the point in the show where we get to the revolutionary figure of the week. This one's for you, Hannah. It's a little lady named Alice Guy Biache. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's French. She was the first female director. She was a pioneer in French cinema. She is revered as the first female director and writer of narrative films. So there you have it.
What was her name?
Her name was Alice Guy Blaché. I don't know France. I don't know France.
I don't know France either.
I don't know France at all. There's a tilde over the E, which is like a Spanish thing, and then there's another hyphen. So it was like, was she also the first person to keep her own name after getting married? I don't know.
Maybe.
It was a hyphen. Whenever I see a hyphen, I look at the guy and I'm like, yo.
That long ago?
Would you, when you do, because you're not married, when you do get married, are you going to hyphen it up or keep your own?
Well, the kids are going to take my last name. They're all going to be so-and-so Lux Davis.
So, yeah, I like it. Because Lux Davis is cool. Did they call you HLD at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that is actually my name. I get quite often.
HLD, appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
This was fun.
It did fly by,
God.
like you said.
It did. The LaCroix. The LaCroix makes it fly by. Thanks for tuning into the Revolution, kids. And keep your eyes peeled for Hannah Lux Davis's videos. Top female director in the game. I'm going to say won't. I'm going to say it since you won't. Big fan of your videos, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
We love you, Hannah.